Fauché comme les blés qu'on m'a soutirés. Une petite pièce pour un pauvre air à la maison.
Hello and welcome to my stream of Gardener's Creed Unity for my annual 2024 Gardener's Creed playthrough. And here we have the star of the game, Arno, and he's just trimming some of the leaves here. Welcome to another stream of Assassin's Creed Unity for my annual 2024 playthrough, doing a high ground challenge. There are the rules for those watching live in chat there and watching the past broadcast. And so far, I have failed a grand number of 65 times. Unlike a challenge where it's like, hey, you know, if you get detected, fair enough, reload the save. This is on a very different scale because of the minutiae of the things that Arno can jump onto. How there's stuff that it looks like he can make the jump to, and he can sometimes, but not all the time. Adds a bit of unpredictability to it. The game puts us on the ground automatically there, but now we get off. The majority of those fails were on the one memory where you have to chase the boat, and ultimately for that memory, after so many attempts, I decided to make a loophole where as long as Arno wasn't touching earth and ground that wasn't wet, he was fine. So that included like even in like where the water meets the edge, I didn't count that because that's wet ground. So I had to get very, very specific with the loophole. But now what I need to do is get Arno some more smoke bombs and stuff. Let's have a look at this shop and see how easy it is to get to. So it's not so bad with this challenge when we're on rooftops and stuff. Unless there's a haystack that's below, because the problem is if I'm running along the edge of a roof and I go to do a jump from one roof to the other, I might be in the vacuum for the leap of faith, which means it doesn't matter if I wanted Arno to just jump straight and across. If he's near the vacuum for the leap of faith, he's just going to jump into the haystack. And because obviously landing in the haystack itself wouldn't be so bad for this challenge if I was able to have Arno climb onto the actual cart part of it. But you can't, so by landing in the haystack, by its very nature, he has to touch the ground when he gets out. So that's the only thing that I have to really be extremely careful for when not on the ground. Now, it gets a bit trickier when you're on the small parts like this. Like this over here, it's an exception because he's a merchant and I have to be on the ground. But you would think that Arno would be able to make this jump, but he can't. He'll just do there. But because we can... Okay, well we're definitely not going to be buying all the consumables that are available. Let's see, I just need to refill all the smoke bombs. Medicine is where I'm lacking. Alright. Okay, so now I have to get back off the ground. There we go. Alright, so let's go to the mission start, and I'll recap what we've done in the story. We're up to sequence 10 now. 9, I mean, sorry. Not 10. Or are we in sequence 10? No, we're in sequence 10. Yeah, we're in sequence 10 now. We finished sequence 9. So the plan is to finish this main game in this stream. And then I'm doing the Dead Kings DLC, but I'll start a new stream for that one. Because I want to make sure that the DLC content is kept as a separate VOD, just in case people don't want to watch the DLC content and they'd like to know when it starts. Well, the best way is to just start it in its own video. Now, bridges is another place where it's very, very frustrating with this challenge. Now, it's not so bad being outside of a memory, because I can't restart a memory when I'm not even in one. And I still wanted to get through this game with as little fails as possible. And in a game like this where you have free roam... Damn it. Where you have free roam, the incentive to not mess up the challenge rule, it may seem like it's not as important when you're not inside a memory to count it as a fail. But I felt for this challenge, it'd be more difficult to actually include it when Arno is roaming around the place as well. Not just have it be inside of memories. Although now that I've done that memory that took me like 50 attempts, I know that even if I had have gotten to that memory and I was only counting touching the ground in memories, I still would have had a high number of fails, just given how that is. Let's see if Arno can make this jump over to there. Nope, he can't. So we have to add another to the fail count. Like, the thing about this game's parkour is, with grand sweeping things, like running and jumping across the rooftop, climbing up the building, being able to climb down it, you know, all these things, they're definitely great, you know, and when you look at the minutiae of stuff, things like how Arno's feet actually are made to move, what they cling to, there's a level of detail, not in terms of like graphics detail or texture detail, but I mean detail in the sense of how Arno's feet move through the game's world. And I guess the thing I'm getting at is that when you do a challenge like this, and you're also counting outside of memories, when you want to go across something like this, it might look simple, but the game can make it complex because sometimes Arno wants to put his foot somewhere different, and that can actually turn into him going in a slightly different direction than you want. And when you do a challenge like this, and you're scrutinizing these little small details so much, or you're having to be mindful of them, that's when you see that there was still a lot of work that needed to be done in that respect with this game. So I'd still say that if you're talking about general, and even certain specific parkour movements, but not all parkour movements in this game, I think it's fair to say that this game had the most advanced parkour in that sense. But where they needed to fix things was in just the little minute things like feet placement and hand placement as well. Because there's plenty of things where you think, right, Arno should be able to reach that with his hand, but the game's programmed him not to. You know, so that's something that it would have been good to see them improve upon. But what they do in Syndicate is more of a streamlining of it, and more of a let's make it feel a bit more on rails kind of thing. Now, having it feel a bit on rails isn't that bad when it comes to regular things like jumping across something, climbing across something. But the problem with Syndicate's parkour is that not being able to jump when you want means that there's a level of freedom that you don't have anymore. It was a level of freedom that, sure, it could go the wrong way, and you could end up having Arno jump to his death, but at the very least, you had more control over how high you wanted Arno to be before he made the jump on it. And that's something that they took away in Syndicate. And I feel like instead of trying to fix the minutiae that needed fixing with the way that the characters move their hands and feet on the environment, what they can grab and all that kind of stuff, and how the player can actually control their movements, those things definitely needed to be improved. But they streamline the general things. And obviously they have the rope launcher in Syndicate, and Ubisoft Quebec, their concern with the AC series has always been to, sure, innovate, and yes, it is pretty innovative in an Assassin's Creed game to have a character be able to use a rope launcher. And I can see the appeal of it. And hell, it's not like I completely dislike it. It's not like I never use it at all. There's definitely moments in Syndicate where it's very handy to have. For example, if you're about to get shot by an enemy, being able to just use the rope launcher to jump straight up to a building that you're below is really cool. You know, that's good to be able to get away that quickly. But the only reason it might feel like that rope launcher is needed more for traversal, damn it, have to count, even if I desync, I have to count that as touching the ground. Lost my train of thought now. Oh, it may seem like the rope launcher is something that allows you to just spam. You know, it's like, why bother climbing the buildings at all, or why bother jumping from one building to another when you can just rope launch around? And in the short term and from short distances, it's pretty quick, you know. But in all seriousness, like let's say there's a mission start. Like let's take this as the mission start, right? Now, in Syndicate, it would be quicker, even if you were here, say, and you wanted to get to there, it would be quicker to fast travel first and then dive off the viewpoint and then run there by foot, right? Or if you're further away, it'd be quicker to just fast travel to somewhere that's the closest and then just get a carriage and steal the carriage and just ride with the carriage full speed. And you'll get there quicker than if you just strictly stick to rope launching. But because they make those traversals more convenient, it gives the false sense that the game is better off, or the series is better off having the rope launcher than not. And if you look at it as a feature of a game, it's purely optional. Like, it's not like the game is saying your character, once they get the rope launcher, they can never climb the building normally again. They have to use the rope launcher. Like, you can well and truly just play through without using it. I don't know how friendly the game is if you decide to play things that way. But at least it's still an option. But the thing about Ubisoft Quebec is they might like to add innovations to things, but they also like to change cemented things about the series, especially where lore is concerned. Now, for some, lore is nothing. It's like, who cares about the lore of a series? As long as the game's fun. I don't care if it ruins the lore. I don't care if you had 10 games that were following a storyline and was cohesive and everything. I don't care about that shit. I just want a game that's fun. And that's completely fair to have that kind of thought about games and stuff. But it's at the expense of the lore. And there are ways to innovate a game's story without changing things about the lore of the series as well. And there's always this fucking hell, Arno. There's always this push to not do as many Assassin's Creed style things as possible. It's like, you look at the majority of the games, sure, there are moments obviously where the character takes off their hood, but in terms of gameplay, where you get to decide if they have the hood on or not, none of the games gave you that option. It was like, okay, the character has the hood on, and when we don't want them to have the hood on, they don't. Whereas Syndicate was like, how about we make it so that they only have the hood on when you're actually doing stealth? And if you're standing up straight, the character will take the hood off. And that's all well and good, but what if the player wants to keep the hood on all the time? What if the player doesn't want to have to keep putting the hood back on? Because it's not a simple case of, oh, the player put the hood back on, and then the game is like, fine, we'll respect your decision there, and we'll make sure that for the rest of the playthrough, for as long as you want it on, the hood will be on. It's like, no. Because there's little moments, like for example, if you're doing the mission with Alexander Graham Bell, where you have to mess with the fuses on the building, there's like a little mini scene that plays out each time you interact with them. If you have the hood on before interacting with it, the hood gets taken off during that small little interaction. Then you have to put it back on again if you want, but you have to be crouched, you see. They make it seem like it gives you more options as the player, but in fact, they're giving people who want a certain option the ability not, they're making it so it's not an option anymore. Oh, I'll tell you what, this is so fucking annoying, right? Like, I pressed the button to make him jump, but he was just like, I'll step off this thing. You probably heard, we ain't in the prisoner-taking business. We're in the killing Nazi business. And cousin, business is a bowman. Thanks for redeeming that quote from Inglourious Bastards. See, he'll do that jump, but he wouldn't do the other jump. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about with this challenge that gets very, very frustrating. See, again, like Arno, jump across something. Crying out fucking loud. Alright, so we've got to get across to this way, but it's turning into a long mission to try and get there. Oh. See, that's the other thing too. Like, why game? Why have him step off? It's like I wanted him to go on a certain path, but he slightly went off. Casper, you think if the height is too small, he will step off instead of jumping? That's true, but he should still stick to where I've put him, which was on the, what do you call it, the side stuff.
I told you everything I knew.
See, he jumped across that all right. I don't know, jump across to that. No, of course not. You wouldn't make that jump, would you? See, again, he just wants to go on the ground. He can do these fucking giant long leaps, but not all the time. Only sometimes. Anyway, I'm not going to be doing this challenge again with this game or future AC titles, because it's just too excruciating, and I don't think it's even that exciting as a viewer anyway, so it's like, there's no point. Alright, got to get as close as possible to this mission start. It doesn't count if I'm near a mission start. There we go.
Are you sure about this?
Not particularly, no. But the Marquis is on the National Convention for Le Pelletier. He might have some insight.
Which is a more incisive commentary on corruption in the bishopric? 7 nuns seducing a parish priest into debauchery, or an enormously endowed Benedictine sodomizing a goat named Pius?
No force in heaven or on earth will make me answer that question.
Quite right, Arno. The goat it is. So, what can I do for you? And your charming companion.
Louis-Michel Le Pelletier. What can you tell us about him?
Ah, dear Louis. He went from abolishing the death penalty to calling for the king's head in 2 short years.
Where can we find him?
I'm afraid I don't often socialize with my fellow deputies. Something about my distaste for the beheading of the innocent. Speaking of innocence...
De Sade. Le Pelletier.
Well, I believe he often takes meals at a certain cafe near Le Palais Royal. I believe you can find him there.
If we don't, I'll be back.
Really? Well, then I hope I'm mistaken.
No, you don't.
That eye roll.
Wine delivery for the palace.
Take it round back.
Make sure you clean those windows properly this time, or Mr. Le Pelletier will have my
Yes,
head.
madame.
Bonjour, Citizen Le Pelletier.
Citizen Talia?
Like how they turned citizen into a title. Casper, you joined the stream and Arno has failed 10 times already. Absolutely. But thankfully, they were outside of the memory. I didn't have to restart a whole section. But for this one, if I do have Arno touch the ground, have to restart the memory. Alright, so Arno doesn't have enough money to pay the bribe to have the window open. But there are other ways to enter that building. And that's how we're going to go in there. Up, Arno, up. Climb up, mate.
J'imagine que oui.
Dis-le-moi, s'il te plaît. Pour quelques pièces, vous pourriez même satisfaire votre curiosité.
Ma foi, oui. Mais en quoi est-elle ironique?
Monseigneur, lâchez donc cette
il nous aura fallu
mégère à la ligne velue.
pour nous retrouver.
Venez plutôt vous
C'est
divertir
vrai.
en ma
Et pour
compagnie.
tout ça, j'aurais donné tout l'or du monde.
Je ne suis pas farouche.
J'ai craint de... Je n'ose donner à vos paroles leçon de ce qui s'y est réellement.
Je crois qu'il y a un gentilhomme qui te regarde.
Vraiment? Vilaine petite moque.
Tiens, je crois qu'il y a un gentilhomme qui te regarde.
Vraiment? Vilaine petite moque.
En voilà un par contre, dont la bourse est bien rebondie.
Pour sûr, pour sûr.
Vous fréquentez donc les familles du Sud-Ouest. N'est-ce pas un peu inconvenant?
Ma nouvelle robe.
Qu'en dit votre père?
Wait a minute.
Are you trying to poison my customs? I'm sorry, sir. This wine is cut with lead sugar. One glass of this. I don't know what. I've been doing this for 30 years, boy. I think I know what tainted wine is.
Spoil it! You won't shake me! Up and bloody disappeared, he did.
bien trouver une solution.
J'enrage. Tout à coup, tu te souviens que c'est à ton frère que tu fais du tort.
Ne mélange pas tout. Je préfère...
Ah ouais, quoi donc, les gens?
Vous nous retrouvez ici. Le vois-tu alentour?
I'll knock your left ear into your right.
Will you be attending the execution tomorrow?
Of course, won't you?
C'en est trop.
Thought I might give it a miss. Crowds, you know. Crowds? For that, you'd miss the defining event of the age. There'll be engravings.
Alright, so I think the only other window you can get into that will lead you to where the target is either the bottom one, which means I'd have to touch the ground to get in. But before I make that decision, I want to just check where I first came into this whole area from.
Un peu de patience, l'ami. Si tu pars maintenant, tu ne seras point payé. Y as-tu pensé?
Je me méfierais de cet homme. En voilà un qui n'inspire pas confiance.
Good, there we go.
Je dis vrai. Je vous assure. Moi, c'est le citoyen.
Waiter. Oui, monsieur. A bottle of your finest wine. Tonight.
The king must be seen as a criminal and a traitor. Only then, when he's executed like a common villain, can we show the world Jacques de Malay's great truth.
You may show the world what truths you like, Grandmaster. What I do for the good of France.
You were right. King Louis's been talking to all sorts he shouldn't have.
Citizen Le Pelletier, the vote stands at 360 for execution to 360 for clemency. How do you vote?
Execution. The vote is cast and counted, Grandmaster.
And?
The king will die.
I had no doubt. I shall very much look forward to witnessing the end of tyranny.
I'll see to it you have the finest view.
I'll get you right in!
I'll break those bloody legs first! Stop this!
I heard you've got a horse nearby. Give me an easy ride back.
I hate how it's one of these areas that the game slows down Arno's actual running speed to pretty much running in sand.
Just stand and fight! I'll catch you no matter what!
You soiled yourself.
There you are!
Arno, what the fuck are you doing, mate?
I'll whip out that nasty moderate tongue!
Got no idea what fancy move he was fucking pulling there.
No, you don't!
Tire the bastard out.
We'll cut you down and turn you. Come back here and fight! Don't let me keep you. Go on!
What the fuck, Arno? Like, fucking seriously, mate.
Just behind you.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, shit. Bloody lungs.
Which way?
On fire.
So this window becomes available to you once the assassination's finished. Although the game won't let me go through it. So I guess it's a glitch that it's open. It's alright, we'll go out this way.
You touch me, and it's the guillotine. Move your ass, you heard me. What the hell? Front to high heaven here.
Legendary Phantom Breaches is what we get for doing that. Cool.
Ask you again. You tell me. I'm not gonna let you push me around. Oh, you won't tell you anything. Give me that ring.
Alright, this is a memory start where I can actually make the prompt appear without touching the ground.
They're bringing the king up now. Are you sure Germain will be there?
Yes, I'm sure.
Then what are we waiting for?
Let's split up. We'll cover more ground that way.
Alright, so the game puts me on the ground automatically. Oh no, it doesn't. That's right, it cuts to the scene where we're high up.
Bring forth the condemned!
So because we don't actually assassinate Germain in this, because he actually gets away, I don't have to get in to use the hidden blade on him. However, I still need to get to where he is without touching the ground. When all hell breaks loose with Elise, it'll be very hard not to touch the ground.
Hey, what was that?
If you know where he is and you go to him, it automatically... No, Arno, you cunt. I didn't want you to jump down there. I was literally moving him to the right.
They're bringing the king up now. Are you sure?
Bring forth the condemned!
No. Didn't want you to jump there. I thought I could get Arno to do a longer leap to get to another point, but that's what happened. So this time I'll just hold down the right trigger on its own.
Bring forth the condemned!
Where are you, stranger? That's some disappearing act.
Hello, Arno. Monsieur Germain. It's fitting you are here to witness the rebirth of the Templar Order. After all, you were there for its conception.
Monsieur de la Serre.
Ah, I tried to make him see. But the Order had become corrupt, clutching at power and privilege for their own sake.
But you could set it right. Is that it? All by killing the man in charge.
No, de la Serre's death was only the first stage. This is the culmination.
Peuple, je meurs innocent. Messieurs, je suis innocent de tout ce dont on m'inculpe. Je souhaite que mon sang puisse cimenter le bonheur des Français.
Kings. It's merely a symbol. A symbol can inspire fear, and fear can inspire control, but men inevitably lose their fear of symbols, as you can see. This was the truth de Molay died for. The divine right of kings is nothing but the reflection of sunlight upon gold. When the crown and church are ground to dust, we who control the gold will decide the future. Jacques de Molay. Vous êtes vengé. I must take my leave. Good day to you. Kill him.
Go!
Quite an entrance.
What are you doing? Go after him!
I'm not leaving you here to die.
Stop him! Come on, love! Protect the Grandmaster! Kill her!
Elise, it's time to go.
I can handle it. Go after Germain.
Elise!
Oh, damn it!
No! Die!
Go after him.
Not without you.
Damn it! He's getting away!
Elise, wait!
Alright, because we have to actually keep up with Elise and we have to fight, the rules don't apply anymore for the rest of the memory.
I can handle it. Go after Germain. Just go! Follow Germain!
It's not worth it. Don't be absurd. You can't fight so many on your own.
Go! I'll buy you time! I'm not letting him get away!
Elise, wait!
He can't escape!
Go after Germain! Just go! Follow Germain!
It's not worth it. Don't be absurd. You can't fight so many on your own.
Go! One time! That is kill! Is that the best? I'm not letting him get away!
Elise, wait! Elise, wait!
You're going nowhere!
Clear off, you dog. Losing his strength, must be.
Don't let her near, Sherma!
Elise, it's over. Let's go.
I'm not letting him get away.
Do you respect the law, citizen?
You shit!
Traitor!
Godspeed.
Empty. He must have gone on foot.
We have a more pressing concern at the moment. Elise!
He's gone. Damn it! Our one chance!
It's not over. We'll find another lead.
No, we won't. You think he'll be so careless now, knowing how close at heel we are? You were given a golden opportunity to end his life, and you refused to take it.
To save your life?
It isn't yours to save.
What are you saying?
I'm willing to risk everything to put Jama down. If you don't have the stomach for revenge, then I don't need your help.
Elise. Elise!
Alright, so the game puts me on the ground at the end of that mission automatically. And from the point where Elise shows up to the end of the memory, there was no way to stay off the ground the whole time, because even though she stays in one spot for a little bit, she will actually run off. And if you don't catch up with her, you desynchronize. So all that part there wasn't included in the challenge, which was lucky. It's too finicky even to try. Casper, at least you'll be finishing the challenge today if Arno behaves. That is true. Yeah. Got the DLC to do as well. Hey there, Stan. Fuck Spearman. That's all you're going to say. Since AC Brotherhood. Yeah, the ones in this game can be friggin' annoying. Like, so frustrating. That's right, Casper, yeah. Yeah, when I started my stream day yesterday, the count was at 20. Hey there, Raid. Hope it's going good. Stan, revenge, is it? Stomach, is it? It is indeed. I Raid, that line, it isn't yours to save, is what made you the story completely lose you. No one's life is anyone's to save. That's not how saving lives works. Yeah. But no, Elise is hell-bent on killing Germaine. It doesn't matter. Like, if there was a woman and her baby standing in front of Germaine, she'd push them out of the way to kill Germaine. And that's the conflict between Arno and her, is that he doesn't want what happened to his own father and Elise's father to happen to her. So he wants to make sure that he's able to be there, like he wasn't able to be there for his father and de la Serre. Now granted, obviously Arno was only a kid. There was nothing that he really could have done, even if he was there when his father was killed. It's not like he could have killed Shay. But when it came to de la Serre, he was a full-grown adult, and that's somewhere where potentially he could have done something. But even so, like, even if he had the warning, there's nothing to say that he would have been safe. But we just don't know that. It's only speculation on that. But that desire that Arno has to protect Elise conflicts with Elise's not caring for her own life or safety. Like, she cares about her life and safety to a certain extent, obviously, but if it's a choice between, hey Arno, you save me to stop me, or help me to stop me from dying, or kill Germaine. She would always rather that he kill Germaine, and that sort of thing. Hey there, Bevers. Welcome on in. Just going to be lurking for a bit, mate. Hope you're well. I am, thanks. Bevers, yeah. Yeah, things are going good, thanks. How's things going with you? Thank you for leaving the lurk as well. Casper, morning for you. That's true, yeah. It was afternoon for me. Raid, like you said before, Arno might care about Elisa's dad, but you couldn't care less. Well, that's fair enough, Raid, you know. Like, if you yourself as the player don't care, then that's fine. But that doesn't change how the characters care. Also, Anna could have held off the thugs while at least wanted to go kill Germaine, but no. Yeah, I guess that's something that could have been done. But sometimes when people are in the heat of the moment, they don't exactly have the ability to think through all the little details and all the different variables and all the different outcomes on the fly. But I think she felt that in that moment, Arno had more chance of killing him, considering he was literally, you know, he could have ran after him, kind of thing. But I could understand why it'd be like, well, why didn't Elise just run off and leave Arno alone? You know, if she cares so much about killing Germaine, surely she doesn't care if Arno gets killed. But I think the thing is, deep down, she obviously does care if Arno gets killed. But she just thought that he was more full on about killing Germaine like she was. But yeah, Arno, since he was a child, has lived with Delasare, so it's understandable that he would come to think of him as a father, even though he's not actually. He's not even his stepfather. So him dying weighs heavily on Arno, because Arno as a character has all those years of living with him. We as the player only have the amount of time we get shown.
Whose side are you on then? Who are you fighting for? Halt, citizen! That's right. You can't shake the law, bastard!
Someone is going to tell me what happened, and I mean now.
Ce sac à vin me fait perdre mon temps.
Calme-toi, voyons. Nous allons bien trouver une solution.
What's with the attitude? Am I gonna have got you? More speed! Need to catch up! I see your corpse!
Tried to get Arno to get down quicker, but he was adamant of jumping all the way to the side and up and left. And Rage, you gotta love the ragdoll physics in this game. Oh yeah, you're not wrong there. The game put me on the ground, so that doesn't count. Right, especially when you kill the big guys and their axes glitch horribly into their bodies. Oh yeah. You can also see like the character model of the enemy be like a pretzel as well sometimes. You see their like neck elongated and stuck inside a wall.
Shall not discuss this in the streets. Wait now. No reason to run unless it's true you turned royalist. Is it true?
Leave me alone.
Come over here for a minute. Are you a royalist? What exactly are you accusing me of? I'm no traitor.
Answer the bloody question. You look like a royalist with your fancy clothes.
Where are the valuables? I'll tear this place apart and find them anyway. Tell me, and I'll I'll let you live.
Les habitants de cette ville sont vraiment étranges.
Right, is there a specific reason that you decided to skip Rogue? Yeah, I played the game when it came out, and I absolutely hated the game, the story, the character of Shay. So I decided that I'd never play it ever again. Because there's no point in playing something you don't like at all. So yeah, that's why I don't play Rogue. Plus, it's a good way to reduce the amount of time a marathon takes to go through. But yeah, even if something's part of a series, I don't feel like I have to play it every single time just because it's part of a series. If I don't like something that's part of a series at all, then there's no point wasting time with it. It's like watching something you don't like. There's no point watching it if you don't like it.
Hé, l'ami, on cherche à s'informer par ici.
Le n'est pas négociable.
Hé, je suis là, l'ami. Viens, je te dis. Tu dois lire ça. Moi-même, je n'y croyais pas.
Rage, you're the complete opposite. You like playing Rogue. You really dislike playing Unity. And that's definitely fair too. You know, I don't blame you for not wanting... I have to touch the ground anyway to get to this mission, so that doesn't count. But yeah, I don't blame you. You know, like, I don't think anyone should play a game if they don't like it, you know. I mean, it can be hard if it's like let's say there's a trilogy of games, right? And you really like the first and third game. And you want to do like a playthrough of it. Like, obviously, for your own benefit, you would already know the story of 2, so you could just skip straight to 3 and be fine. But if you're a streamer and, you know, you're doing that and people you didn't want it, maybe you decide to still do it. But games like, you know, Rogue and Unity and Syndicate, they're not necessarily you have to play. Like, you can play Assassin's Creed Unity without playing Brotherhood, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Well, I actually do, Casper. I do have a command for Rogue. It's just like a very short sort of thing as well. But yeah. Out of all the games in all the franchises I love, AC Rogue is the only one where people are bewildered at me not liking it. Like I'm the only one on the planet who doesn't like it or something. But I also tire of having, you know, this is the downside of being a streamer of Assassin's Creed, is even when you're not playing Assassin's Creed, people talk about Assassin's Creed. And so part of the talking about Assassin's Creed,
Hey, Arno.
when you mention you don't like Rogue, people want to know why, naturally. And to give a short version is one thing, but some people want to debate, and that gets a bit tiring because it's like there's only a finite amount of time that one can spend talking about something before it starts to, you know, grate on them as
Hello,
well.
Arno.
So that's why this year I wanted to not have a constant presence of Assassin's Creed on the channel for the whole year. Now, obviously, because of what I got planned, the marathon and the anniversary playthroughs, of course, there's going to be Assassin's Creed on the channel outside of this marathon. But it's not to the same extent where every weekend was Assassin's Creed moving forward, you know. And the problem with being a fan of Assassin's Creed is that once people know that you are a fan of Assassin's Creed, that's all they want to talk about when you're playing other franchise games as well. And so it comes this thing of you want to, talk about Assassin's Creed stuff, but not every day and all day. And that's the problem with many franchises is, as much as I love Assassin's Creed, I don't love it to the point of it's the only thing I think about and I want to talk about only that as well. Sometimes I want to just enjoy other things. It doesn't mean that I don't want people to talk about games that they like. Like I don't like Minecraft, for example, but I don't want people who like Minecraft to not feel like they can talk to people in chat about Minecraft. They might tell me something about it, and even if I'm not interested in Minecraft itself, I don't want people to feel like they can't. You know what I mean? Because that's a bit stupid to limit things like that. And I don't want to do the same for Assassin's Creed either. I don't want to be like, right, okay, I'm not playing Assassin's Creed now, so I don't want anyone to mention Assassin's Creed at all. Like, I don't mean it in that way. I just mean it that there will be times where I'm not really in the mood to have a 10-minute long talk about things in Assassin's Creed that I've already talked about before on other streams as well. Now, granted, obviously, different people come to the channel who haven't been here before and have talks, and they obviously want to talk about stuff, and that's why you can't just get rid of it all completely. Like, I don't want people who are fans of Assassin's Creed to feel like they can't talk to me about Assassin's Creed when I'm playing something else.
Arno,
but at the same time, I can't dedicate 10-15 minutes of a spiel, which I'm currently doing now anyway. But I can't commit that much time to just spieling about something every time I play something. You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes my answers might be shorter than a previous time. Like someone might have asked me about how I felt about something and I spent 10 minutes talking about it, but I don't want to spend 10 minutes talking about it every time someone brings it up. So that command is good for short-term stuff. It's like, why didn't you like this game? Oh, here's a little bit of information why. But when people want to know further details, or they want to talk about things like, but what about this aspect? What about that aspect? That description doesn't really cover all that as well. And I don't want to have this big, massive, 10-page thing that talks about it, I guess I could do a clip where I talk about it, but then some people prefer to have a live action response. There's some people who don't like to watch a VOD that came out later that talks about these things. But that's the thing about stuff, is that because I've been streaming a long time now, the people who know me for Assassin's Creed content, who have been with the channel, obviously that's always going to be a part of the channel. Like, even if I decided, and I'm not going to do this, but even if I decided to say, hey, I'm going to become a Tomb Raider only channel, I'd still get people talking about Assassin's Creed. It's not going to magically stop and stuff. But yeah, I hope that explains a little bit of why I'm not always in the mood to have a long discussion about certain, things. Like, if it's something that hasn't been brought up for like months, then I don't mind talking about that stuff. But when it's like an almost everyday thing, it becomes a bit tiring. So my responses can become a bit sounding like they're robotic or that they're rehearsed. But it's just because you get asked so many times as a streamer about certain things. And it's for anything, really. Like, if you're a streamer who streams a lot of, like, Fortnite, I'm sure that people want to just talk about that the whole time. And if they're not, they don't want to talk about other stuff for too long. They want to go back in to the conversation. But yeah. Raid Rogue might be just Black Flag again, but Black Flag's gameplay is great, so you can enjoy it. That's true. That's true, and part of why they used that engine as well is because of time. They didn't have time to, say, use this game's engine for Rogue. They had to still use what they had because they needed to get it out in time. Hey there, Ryu. Welcome on in. I hope it's going well. While you talk heavily about Mortal Kombat, you do try your best to be on topic or have variety by talking about other things you like. Yeah, Ryu, it's understandable to be excited about something and you want to actually talk about it. Or you want to be like, hey, look, here's this cool thing that I found, and all that kind of stuff and discussions. But yeah, sometimes it just gets to a point where my responses will just be short ones as well, and not always like long, sort of like, you know, long-winded implies a negative thing, but I mean,
Hello, Arno.
really long speeches. Because I feel like sometimes that's what happens when I talk a lot. I start to sound like I'm doing a speech or something. Hey there, Lucas. I hope everything's going well. Don't think you'll be around much tonight. You got to be up early. Oh, that's totally fair. That's no trouble at all. Thank you so much for popping in to watch some Assassin's Creed Unity. We're into the part of the story now where Arno gets expelled from the assassins.
How are you, Arno?
You're doing well, Ryu? That's excellent. Good to hear that, dude. So 76 times is how many times we've touched the ground when we weren't supposed to.
Godspeed.
What in God's name happened at the Place de la Révolution today?
Germain was there, and I know what his plan is. You have to...
You were told to leave that investigation to others.
Yes, but listen.
Yes, but listen? Is that the regard in which you hold the Brotherhood?
I knew this would happen. I told Mirabeau that you were too obsessed with your personal vendettas.
This is why I joined the Brotherhood.
Yes, not because you shared our ideas or felt called to the service. For revenge.
For redemption.
Call it what you will. You've defied the orders of this council repeatedly, pursued targets without sanction, and flouted our creed at every step.
Master Trenet?
In light of these actions, I find I have no choice but to call for a vote of expulsion. Master Bellier.
Agreed.
What are you...
Master Kimar.
Agreed.
Arno Dorian, you are attainted. Your rank and title are stripped from you, and you are hereby exiled from the Brotherhood of Paris.
You cannot be serious. Listen, I know what Germain is doing. I can stop him!
The decision of this council is final. We give you leave to go.
Another Helix Rift. Actually, not yet. A bit too early for that.
Damn. No. No. Where is it? Brasserie Garceau. Was that last night?
Get the hell out of here!
But I...
Ouch! You've caused enough trouble for one night.
Fine. I'll procure my wine in some other fashion.
Alright, the game puts me on the ground automatically here at the start of this memory. So we'll get Arno off the ground. Lucas, everything is good. Well, thank you for asking. You ought to be up early for a good reason. You're going to the zoo tomorrow. Ah! Has it been a while since you've been? Or is it like a first time as well? That's definitely understandable too, you know, to get up nice and early. What time do they actually open? Good one, Stan. Redemption, is it? Red Dead Redemption, maybe? Raid, these losers kicking Arno out when he's the only one who does anything. Unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the thing, too. Like, they say you're supposed to leave that investigations to others. So they have put someone on it, but the thing is, I can understand from the side of Arno has sort of like flouted the creed a bit. He's gone off and he's, you know, killed targets without being first given permission to, and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, they should still want him to be part of the assassins. Like, that should still be a thing. But because he's the one that ultimately takes down Germain, then it's, you know, it's one of those things where they made a mistake. Because he ends up doing what they, you know, wanted. View, granted, Arno has every right to be depressed for being kicked out. Depression, is it? That's true. You know, he's, like, he definitely, wants to take out Germain. Still. Stan, Red Dead Revenge, is it? Indeed. It always is.
Hey! You want some fun? I'll happily cut your innards out to play with.
It was last night. Maybe I left it there.
Right, they're worse than the damn loyalists in Dishonored, minus the betrayal, of course. Yeah, I still want to play the Dishonored games, actually. They're definitely on my to get to eventually list. Lucas, lately you've been trying to go at least once a year, and it's about an hour and a half drive. They open at 9, you plan on being there by 11. Well, that's a pretty good amount of time, like, getting there by that point, because then you still got like a whole day's worth to be able to look around and stuff. Alright, so is this the only way in? Just want to see if there's a way to get in via another level or not. There is. Good. Raid, Dishonored is delicious, minus the terrible voice acting. Oh, I gotcha. But, can I actually go down from here? And the answer is no. Okay. Alright. So it looks like the only way to get into the next part of the objective is to go in on the ground floor. So I'll make an exception.
Looks like someone got into a fight.
So Arno can touch the ground to get in here.
Oh, Christ. Not you again. Didn't do enough damage last night.
No, I just... My father's watch. Have you seen it?
I see nothing. Might want to ask one of the four men you picked a fight with. Idiot. Watch it! You don't want to do that, boy.
Piss off, old man.
Ni de la royauté, ni de sa garde. Allumez ce qu'il nous faut, plutôt que de se mettre à genoux en
Nous allons tout casser! L'idée d'égalité sont des ennemis de la révolution!
Passez-les la main, ouais! Écrasez-les! Faites-en de la bouillie! Écorchez-les vifs!
I will make you pay! Nous luttons pour une France meilleure!
You. Where's your boss?
Oh, shit!
No. Get back here.
What? Would you... Hey! That's not yours! Someone stop him! He's a thief! He stole that from me!
I need to tackle him. Won't be able to do it unless I touch the ground.
Where? The palace! They're at the palace! Thank you.
Hey there, Arno. How's things going? Lucas, you tried Dishonored, honestly, you didn't like it. Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, I was like that with BioShock 1 when I played it years ago. I couldn't really get into it.
What a hole!
Bag it all, boys! Beats rolling farmers for their coppers, eh, lads?
Lucas running around in the rain, tackling someone on the mud and dirt while wearing white. Genius move. It really, really is. Had to be wearing that color shirt.
No, Harry.
For the revolution!
yourself.
Too slow. Might as well stand. Die like the pillock you are. Yaha!
Assassinate, things are good. Finished clearing out most of the map this morning. About to start the Prophet. Getting past Women's March without upgrading gear was definitely a challenge, though you did cheese it a lot, so not sure if you'd count it. Oh, well that's fair enough. I mean, if you're still using what the game is giving you, then I wouldn't really count it as like, you know, well, I wouldn't say it's something to not count.
Look at all this. Even the chamber pots are gold.
Raid, about earlier, you only asked about Rogue because you didn't know. Wasn't trying to have a long discussion about it or anything like that. Oh yeah, Raid, that's definitely no worries at all. Yeah, sometimes when I talk about stuff, I like to talk about it for general things, like for general people who might be watching the stream as well, because it made me think about how there's a lot of moments in the series that people want to talk about naturally, but there's just some things that when I've talked about it already on the same stream or something like that, it can get a bit tiring.
You seem to have caused quite a commotion.
Well, what can I say? You were always a bad influence.
Oh, you were a worse one.
Okay, so I have to touch the ground to get to the next part. So this part here won't be counted.
I'll sacrifice you, maggot! I won't give up! I will... I call the silverware!
Now, aren't you glad we came here?
Damn, murderers!
Diable! Is that Mink?
Looks like it.
Can't I go with you, Father?
Courage, my boy. You wait just here. I will return when this hand reaches the top. exploring.
Yes, Father.
Arno. You look like hell.
You look like you want something from me.
That's a fine thing to say after you up and vanished.
You made it fairly clear you no longer required my services.
Don't. Don't you dare talk to me like that.
What do you expect me to say, Elise? Forgive me for not letting you die? I'm sorry that I care more about you than about killing Germain.
I thought we wanted the same thing.
What I wanted was you. I can't bear the fact that my carelessness got your father killed. Everything I've done since then has been to fix that mistake. And to prevent it from happening again. You must have come here with something in mind. What was it?
Paris is tearing itself apart. Germain has driven the revolution to new heights of depravity. The guillotines operate nearly around the clock now.
And what do you expect me to do about it?
The Arno I love wouldn't have to ask that question. You're better than this. I'm going back to Paris. Are you coming?
There's one last thing I need to do.
All right. I'll go see to our transportation. Stay out of trouble. Don't get caught.
Lucas, isn't she the one who exiled him? No. Yeah, the council exiled Arno from being an assassin, or at least being part of the French assassins, because they just said the French Brotherhood. So technically Arno could have gone to England and joined the English Brotherhood, or, you know, he could have gone to Egypt and joined that, or, you know, but they exiled him from the order, and then he just decided to go back to Versailles instead of staying in Paris. Raid, you look like you want something from me. Yes, she's been using you the whole time. Yeah, I remember your argument for that, Raid, that Elise is just using Arno the whole time. Assassinate, with Women's March towards the end, it definitely got pretty hectic, running around sabotaging the cannons and hearing sniper shots every few seconds, knowing any one of them could be an instant desync. Absolutely, Assassinate, yeah, doing it in timeline order puts you in that mission very, very early on, you know, and it can be very, very tricky. I definitely found a lot of tricky parts with that playthrough when I did that for the first phase of celebrating this game's 10th anniversary.
Look what you've gotten us into now.
Shut up in there!
So, this is what France has come to. Parasites, bleeding the revolution dry.
Brady gets kicked out, so he goes on a bender for who knows how long. Pretty pathetic, honestly. Yeah, I guess that's the way he chose to deal with it. He was like, fuck this then. Might as well go and get pissed every day. And now he magically has his assassin gear back. That's true, although they didn't ask him to return his hidden blade and his gear either. When they exiled him, they just said, you're exiled, you have leave to go. Okay, so this is going to be tricky. To get to Latouche directly, I need to actually touch the ground, but I still need to stay off the ground before that point.
He's gaining! Hurry!
Your revolutionary brothers and sisters need to eat! And yet here you are, horned and hide like rats! And why? Because you are greedy! You are ungrateful for the freedoms you've been given! Hoarding food is no different than stealing it from the mouths of babes! Justice must be done! Justice, prompt, severe, and inflexible! Bring up the condemned!
Lucas, it's becoming summer here in the US, so isn't it nearing winter there in Australia? It is, Lucas, yeah. We've already been getting like a lot of weather that is wintry. But yeah, it officially will become winter as soon as June kicks off. Hello there, Babs. Good morning, afternoon as well. How's it going? Actually, no. I might be able to make it to him without touching the ground. Because if I get to that spot over that way...
You didn't just up and vanish now, did you? What was that?
They'll still... Yeah, they'll come up to get me. Okay, now he's running off. Alright. This is going to complicate stuff.
Where's my bloody stuff? Don't let him! Horse, you are mine! He pissed off. Now I've got ya! Stop it! Oh, bloody hell! Don't lose it!
Alright, what I can do to stop him from actually running off is shoot him in the head to incapacitate him. I'll still have to get in close to actually assassinate him, of course, for it to count, but if I'm going to get alerted, and they're going to run off, and he's going to run off. I may as well make sure that he can't run off. Lucas, that just sounds crazy to you. You can't imagine Christmas being hot like it is there. Yeah, you know, sometimes it doesn't end up being as hot, but it definitely can, you know, so seeing it be winter time, you know, a lot of Christmas movies that are set in America, it does give a different feel to that we can't really replicate here.
Your revolutionary brothers and sisters need to eat.
Alright, what's Australian winters like? They can definitely be harsh. Like, they can be really, really, like, low temperature. Like getting frosty grass and stuff in the mornings and things like that. But I prefer it than the heat. It's easier to warm up than it is to cool down.
Severe and inflexible. Free up the condemned.
Where are you?
It can, Lucas. Yeah, it could definitely snow. But not everywhere, though. There's some places where it just doesn't happen. If it does, it's very, very rare.
hell was that?
You! Let us out of here!
Don't touch me!
You! Let us out of here!
Come back and die like a brat! Come on, Madame Guillotine is waiting! Gonna find ya! Gonna kill ya!
Got ya! You won't bloody lose me!
Répondez-le, Seren!
That way? Onwards.
Et surtout pas de vos palais!
Il hurle de douleur!
The way you'll end up there. It's right in front of me.
I'll settle this soon enough.
Il est trop tard pour des excuses! Le temps est venu de les traîner dans les rues!
Rage, you live in Western Canada. Winters here consist of freezing cold rain and dull grey skies, sometimes with a few weeks of heavy snowfall. That'd be so cool to live somewhere where there's heavy snowfall. I mean, obviously, it could go in an extreme way where it causes problems, but to be able to have that dense snow, you know, Babs. You're great. Thanks for asking. How goes today's dose of floor is made of lava-based torture? Well, I'm glad to hear that, Babs. That's awesome that you're going great. And it's going not too badly. I haven't had a mission like that other one that caused so many fails, thankfully.
You can't hide.
Oh, really, Raid? You wear shorts even if it's below zero outside? Well, I guess the thing is too, like, not everyone feels cold in the same parts of the body as well. Like, for some people, they need to have their feet covered really well, otherwise they get cold feet. But some people are just like, oh yeah, I love my feet being cold. Damn it, that was a waste of a berserk dart. I like how Latouche is just standing there on the platform, not worried. All hell's breaking loose around him, all his allies are fighting each other. He's just like, I'm chilling. We'll see how all this lands. I wanted to save using my pistol ammo until needed. Raid, you can cope with cold weather better than most people. Well, that would definitely be handy, Raid, for that, you know. Lucas, when you've been around snow your whole life, every winter having to shovel and all that, it's more of a nuisance. That would be true, yeah. That's it. Having to do all the work it takes to get rid of the snow out of the way of where you need to go and make sure it doesn't do damage to stuff. And CasperLatouche.exe has stopped working. He sure has, you're not wrong there. Alright, so how many enemies do we have? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the other side. Rough estimate. And that sniper sees us really, really quickly.
Wait a minute! You can't hide, maggot! Right! Killer out there somewhere.
Alright. So that will prevent... Ah, damn it. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Whenever I do a challenge run, this assassination ends up being a very time-consuming one. Raid, guards bring forth the condemned, meanwhile everyone's dead. That's right, they're all gone already. I was too busy making sure that I was getting Arno to duck, then noticing his health. Look, the only bad thing about Australia is that the creatures can kill you all over. Yeah, whether on land, sea or air.
Your revolutionary brothers and sisters need to eat! And yet here you are. Horde in a hide like rats! And why? because you are greedy. You are ungrateful for the freedoms you've been given. Hoarding food is no different than stealing it from the mouths of babes.
No, Arno. I wanted him to fucking jump diagonally across to the other thing.
Hold it, you! You can't shake me, dog! Right behind you.
Your revolutionary brothers and sisters need to eat. And yet here you are. Hoard in a hive like rats. And why? Because you are greedy. You are ungrateful for the freedoms you've been given. Hoarding food is no different than stealing it from the mouths of babes. Not you. Big old Nick.
Fired? But why?
Because, Monsieur Latouche, your last report contained numerous errors.
Sir, I triple-checked those figures. They're not in error. 10,000 livres simply vanished from His Majesty's treasury.
I'm sorry, Latouche. Good day.
Monsieur Latouche, they tell me you are a taxman.
Yes, sir.
Good. I have need of someone like you.
It's parasitism, plain and simple.
What's that mean?
It means greedy bastards skimming for themselves instead of doing their jobs. If you knew half the shit our bosses rats here.
Tell me about this boss of yours.
Very well. May the Father of Understanding guide you.
May the Father of Understanding guide us.
The hidden blade of Arno.
What would you have me do, Grandmaster?
I'm placing your services at the disposal of our agent on the convention.
Le Peltier?
Now, Peltier has his uses, but he's not our only friend in government. Monsieur Latouche, I present to you Monsieur Maximilien de Robespierre.
Monsieur, I understand Versailles is overrun with parasites.
Alright. I'll wait here till it all dies down.
Follow. We'll get more help.
Raid, landscape in Western Canada consists of mountains, valleys and rivers. It's like being in Skyrim, only with less flying lizards trying to eat you. That's definitely a great way to put it. That's for sure. Yeah, that will definitely be a big plus, not having that. Beva's crazy how different he looks. It really is. Yeah, seeing Latouche as he was before he got fired, you know. Raid, lost your patience with Latouche? Don't blame you, really. Yeah, I thought restarting the memory puts me directly there at the assassination point. So if it takes me a few attempts to get to him and kill him and escape, and if it took me ages to do it without touching the ground, I don't really care now about keeping the count low. So I figured I may as well Rambo it and just basically try to get to him, assassinate him, and then escape without touching the ground. Hey there, Schiller. It's going pretty good, thanks, dude. Just finished off that mission. Master sends Calotte's braces. But the current fail count is pretty high. It's now 77.
Damn it. They're onto us again.
Just want to change that if I can. Now, when I think about it. There we go. Master sends Calotte's braces. How's things going with you today, Sheila? I hope it's going good.
Anna, it's not the best time, is it?
I'm on it. 2 seconds.
Okay, we're close, Initiate. Arno and Germain had some kind of confrontation within the next few months, but we don't know where or how it ended. We're counting on you to find out.
Got it. The portal's open.
If all goes well, this is your last forced migration.
Yeah, and if it doesn't go so well, you could go into hippocampal shock and take your meals through an IV for the rest of your life.
Let's not dwell on that, shall we?
Sheila, the follow the boat mission yesterday was skyrocketing the number. You're not wrong there, dude. It's definitely the worst part of this challenge run. Has definitely been that memory. I wonder what the Dead Kings will have in store for me with this challenge. Because I'm also doing that as part of it too. You're doing good, Sheila? You just woke up and you hate the new Twitch app design? Oh, there's a new design, is it? On mobile. I have to see for myself, like, eventually, because, yeah, sometimes I use the mobile app, but not too much. I'm glad to hear that you're going good, though. I hope you had a good rest. Rage, your favorite assassination missions in this game are Marie Levesque and La Peltier. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, too, trying to get in without being detected in those assassination missions. The game has put me on the ground. So this doesn't count.
This might look familiar to you. We're back in medieval Paris, late 14th century. You're outside the city walls now. I suggest you find your way back.
And there's multiple times we have to touch the ground, so... this whole sequence will be... unless... because there is that part in the battlefield. Raid, how's it going to work in Dead King since you have to go underground for a lot of it? Well, basically those sorts of situations will be exempt. But because I can't fast travel as well, it means that I have to go to the locations. So the potential for the count to go high is still there. But in terms of the underground stuff, like once I'm actually there underground, there's nothing that can be done about that.
Is falling apart. Find the exit, fast. You're nearly there. Follow my voice. Get to the exit, quickly!
Right, the final bit in Dead Kings, where you get to use the head of Saint Denis, is one of the best moments in this game. It is quite cool that you get to use the Piece of Eden in this. Casper, stop talking, Bishop. I don't actually mind Bishop talking in the missions in the story, but when you have to redo the same thing 20 times over to actually get the artifacts in the other rifts, it definitely gets a bit old. Hey there, AC, welcome on in. That motherfucker is dead. He jumped the bit of the burned bridge, landed and collapsed. The valley floor is his new home. Rigged. Just all the dead. Yeah, there's definitely parts of this challenge that are exempt. Like parts of this game that are exempt from the challenge rules. That whole sequence was definitely one of them. How's it going, AC?
Okay, Initiate, let's finish this. You're almost home.
Things have changed a great deal since you left Paris.
A great deal to be set right.
And we're no closer to finding Germain.
That's not entirely true. I have a name.
Who?
Robespierre.
Alright, so the game automatically puts me on the ground. Time to get off it. AC, like, you know the game's got a game and all, but damn, maybe some realism? I guess that's the balance that's constant in a lot of games, is the realism versus the video game logic. Sometimes I prefer video game logic, but other times I prefer realism to win out. So this mission, there's going to be a lot of parts where I literally have to touch the ground in order to do the objectives. But there are little bits and pieces where I can avoid touching the ground.
You're holding out on me.
So I'd like to go and replenish Arno's stuff first.
It's your building. You know who the troublemakers are. I've had enough. I don't take kindly to being attacked. Well, that's it then. I'm through being nice.
But then again, there's no way to get to it from here without touching the ground. There's no way to start the mission without touching the ground. So I'll make an exception for this and I won't worry about getting the supplies.
What's all this?
Robespierre. He's declared today a festival of the Supreme Being. A paean to the virtue of the nation and the citizen's duty toward it.
Why does that sound familiar?
As far as Templar doctrine goes, it's a loose interpretation.
We'll never get close to him in the middle of all this. We'd best retire and wait for a better opportunity.
Still thinking like an assassin. This time, I have the plan.
Oh? And what would that be?
Think like a Templar.
Alright, so I have to be on the ground for this part. AC, you still don't understand the law. Why do they need to keep reliving assassin memories?
What are you thinking?
Vive Robespierre!
Oh, my, that's lovely.
The supreme being ain't called for an spear. I'll eat my hand.
What is he thinking? Ridiculous pomp and circumstance.
Well, there's various reasons, story-wise. At this point, Abstergo have released a lot of entertainment products that are on cloud servers, and that means that the assassins are hijacking those cloud servers to find any intel, because Abstergo have also put their, secret files and stuff all over the place as well. And so the Templars are looking for anything that can lead them to more pieces of Eden and also more sages so they can harvest their DNA to create pieces of Eden from scratch using that DNA, and also to try and recreate the Isu race as well.
What now?
Robespierre is unassailable. He's got half the guard out in force. We'll never get within 10 yards of him.
Just what I said.
But he's not as popular as he was. The Purgers, the Supreme Being cult. If we can discredit him, he's finished.
Massive public spectacle is the perfect venue.
Exactly. Paint him as a dangerous lunatic and his power will evaporate like snow in April. But we'll need some convincing evidence.
I have an idea where to start. You coming?
Meet me after. I have my own arrangements to make.
Alright. So, it's not possible to do this without touching the ground at all, due to the nature of where I need to get to. So I'm going to count this memory as not included.
Let's see. Incriminating evidence. Incriminating evidence. Merlin, Tallien, Bourdon. These are all deputies of the National Convention. Lists of political figures written in the hand of a man fond of sending his rivals to the guillotine. Yes, these should do nicely.
He did not create kings to devour the human species. Neither did he create priests to harness us like brute beasts to the carriages of kings. Give the world the example of baseness, pride, perfidy, avarice, debauchery, and falsehood to the world. He created the universe to celebrate his power. He created men to help.
Something's not right. Who do you owe money to?
Tu verras que ces révolutionnaires auront tôt fait de se proclamer roi.
Tu verras que le peuple donnera de la voix et qu'il se fera obéir.
Être si tourmenté.
I see, that is a reason, yes. That is true. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that Abstergo are wanting to do. And one of those things is they want to rewrite history through editing it. They want to make what actually happened not be what people believe actually happened. So essentially Abstergo is taking the memories that they've recorded footage of from all the subjects that have experienced the memories, both in the past, since the technology was invented, and in the present. And they want to take that footage and they want to present it to the public as fact, but it's been edited to cut out what really happened. So essentially Abstergo are wanting to act like they're being transparent to the public about what happened in the past, but at the same time they're wanting to hide things from the general public. And that's why the assassins are hacking into their cloud servers at this point, using initiates who aren't necessarily on the ground running around killing targets and stuff, but they're actually acting as reconnaissance recoveries due to the nature of them trying to find intel and stuff like that. But I do believe that one of the initiates ends up getting killed by the Templars, and then the assassins decide that the program should not continue to put people in jeopardy who are just basically people who aren't trained to fight. You know, they're essentially hired by the assassins to go into these memories and try and find what they can, kind of thing. Rage, you know Arno didn't literally shapeshift there, but the disguise ability in this game really reminds you of a Prototype. Oh yeah. I haven't played Prototype, but you do raise a good point with Arno and doing that. I've seen a lot of people try and say that it's the Animus glitching, which is why. But to me, it's purely and simply gameplay. Like, it's for us as the player. It's not for the person experiencing the memory. It's not for Arno. It's for us as the player. It's just something for us to use as the player to get through stuff. Like, Arno didn't shapeshift into someone. The Animus isn't glitching for the person using it and making it look like he shapeshifted as someone else. That's just something for us as the player. It's not. It has no bearing or relevance on anything to do with the actual in-universe stuff. It's all stuff related to us as the player. Same with what Basim does in Mirage. People like to say, oh, but he's got Isu in him, so therefore he should be able to... It's like, no. Being Isu doesn't give you superpowers. We think of Eagle Vision as a superpower, obviously. If we were able to do this in real life, it would be understandable to call it a superpower. But the Isu don't have superpowers in the literal sense. They have it in our perception of what this is, as opposed to magic, right? And so, if you have Isu DNA in you, Desmond has it, Arno has it, every single human in the entire series who has Eagle Vision, whether they're a Templar, an assassin, a plumber, a lawyer, a cop, a criminal, whatever, they all have Isu DNA inside of them. And so that gives them an extra perception. But it's not a superpower. They can't jump off the ground and fly through the air. They can't teleport from one thing to another. You know, these are things that they can't do. However, they can have technology that lets them do it. Now, Basim, for example, in Mirage, he doesn't have any technology on him, so he doesn't teleport. People like to say, oh, it's just showing how fast he was. He wasn't that fast. He wasn't fast enough to literally teleport from one point to the next and kill each enemy. That's something that has been given to us as the player to be able to use. Just like in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Rush Assassinate. Cassandra can't teleport. And the thing about the spear is that they try to put in the reason why it can do all these special things is because you upgrade it. But we never see Cassandra in the actual canon. We don't see Cassandra, for example, use her staff to rush Assassinate. Why doesn't she do that in any of the cutscenes? Because she couldn't do that. It's only a gameplay thing. So when you really break it down and you look at stuff like that, you got to sort of think from that perspective. But yeah, the ability for Arno to turn into someone else is strictly for us as the player. Same with the Assassin focus in Assassin's Creed Mirage. Same as the Rush Assassinate in Odyssey. It's for us as the player to utilize for gameplay purposes. But the reason why Basim does the Assassin focus is not because he's doing it. Now, they might try and make it look like he's aware of being able to do that or, you know, whatnot. But conveying something in gameplay terms does not always mean that's how it's being conveyed in actual terms of the story and the character and all that kind of stuff. Basim might be fast in the sense of he can kill someone in the blink of an eye and then hide in the crowd quickly, but he can't teleport. He can't kill one enemy and then teleport 10 feet away and kill someone else and then teleport somewhere else. You know, it's not the Animus glitching showing us how this thing, you know what I mean? It's purely a gameplay thing. So I think it's important to separate these things from each other and make sure that they're not being confused. But the problem is, by the very nature of having a video game and having the player control the character, sometimes they do have to have the character themselves make comment on something. Like in Odyssey, for example, Cassandra mentions that she can actually anticipate her opponent's move before they do it, right? So that is the character acknowledging to another character that she can actually do that, which for us makes us realize, okay, she has some sort of like sixth sense, right? She can anticipate these moves before they actually happen. But that doesn't mean that every other single thing that you can do in the game is something that she could actually do. If she had said, oh yeah, you know, I upgraded my spear recently and I'm able to teleport, that would be a different story, because that would be her saying that the technology of the spear has been upgraded to allow teleportation. But for us as the player, these sort of things are put in place just to help us look at what we're having to do and understand how it's supposed to work in a way that makes us understand. Earlier games used to do this in a more direct way, where it was like, for example, in the old school Tomb Raider games, in the tutorial section, in the manor, Lara would literally say, walk me to the edge, press the jump button, and do this, you know. But is Lara actually self-aware? No. Is she like Deadpool and can sense that she's actually a fictional character? No. It's just that at the time, that's how they felt it was best to convey that information to the player, because they wanted to make it feel like the character was talking to you. But the character actually isn't aware that they're a character, you know. So there's certain games that still do it to a smaller extent, where the only way they can frame it to the player is by having a character actually say it, or things like that as well. But yeah, the only way that people with Isu DNA can do what is perceived to be magic is, number one, the eagle vision is more like a perception, like smell. It's just that when we actually use it ourselves, we can see certain things, and characters can as well, but it doesn't then mean that they can just do anything, you know what I mean? Like, you got to have some kind of limitation. They can't time travel, they can't teleport, they can't turn invisible. You know, these things are stuff that they can't actually do. But if they do them in the game, it's just because it's for gameplay purposes, not for this is what the character could do situations. It's like if you're playing a game and you decide to do something that's not supposed to happen. Just because you decided to make the character do something that wasn't supposed to happen doesn't mean that the character actually did that. For example, in Red Dead Redemption 2, there's some missions where you have to do things a certain way. And if you do them a different way, then the game punishes you for it and fails you. But just because you can do it that different way doesn't mean that the character was doing it that different way. It just means that you decided to do something that goes against how things were supposed to actually go. So if your character was supposed to let a target live, yet you kill them in gameplay and the game fails you for that, that's not because the character tried to kill the thing, you know. It's because the game doesn't want you to kill that character in the example I'm using. So that can be tricky too with games when they are giving you the option to do things, but it doesn't mean that everything that they let you do is what the character was doing. Raid, you've always interpreted Basim's teleport ability as him going into some kind of trance, but we just see it as teleporting. Well, I guess in terms of like going into like a different mental state, like I'm sure that he would, but that doesn't explain teleportation though. Like, you could meditate, but that doesn't mean you're going to teleport from America to Paris, for example. You know, but when Basim actually does what he's doing, obviously he'd have to be highly concentrated on it. Like, he couldn't be thinking what he's going to have for breakfast the next morning while he's stalking a target. You know, he'd have to have his mind on the mission. So he'd have a certain level of focus. But I just feel like if they wanted it to be something that the character was able to do, they should have done it in a way where it's like you mark each target and then the character takes them out in believable ways, like jumps at them, does a run and jump or a sliding move, or jumps on top of something and then uses it to get elevation and then jumps off that, you know. But the way that they do it is he can literally be in midair and then just teleport to someone down on the ground and then teleport to someone up on the roof. It doesn't, you know, like, it's all gameplay stuff. It's not, Basim wasn't able to do that. Does he have to go into a focus state to do these things where he's being very skilled? Then yes, I would say in that respect and as far as that goes, but not as far as teleportation goes though. Like if you think about Altair, like he essentially meditates, you know, when the Animus says fast-forwarding memory to a more recent one, it's actually fast-forwarding past him just meditating, you know. He's getting ready to do his mission. So there is a level of focus and meditation that is required, or that can be done by the character. But it doesn't give them magical abilities to teleport, though. Hey there, Star. Welcome on in. You swear you're missing Resident Evil 5. What days do you do that? On the weekends, I do Resident Evil 5. But I'll be finished that playthrough soon, because I've only got one more stream to do until I've finished the current run that I'm doing on it, and then the whole playthrough is finished. AC, thank you for coming to my Rod talk. Yeah, it can feel like that sometimes. It definitely can. Yeah, Star. Yeah, this is the third run through I've done of Resident Evil 5 for its 15th anniversary as well. I'm playing through the game with the black and white filter on, which I haven't done before. But after that game's finished, the weekends will become Detroit Become Human.
Well?
A list of names. 50 or so deputies of the National Convention, all written in Robespierre's hand and all opposed to him.
I imagine those good gentlemen would be quite interested to know they're on that list. But first... Monsieur Robespierre brought his own refreshments. Distract the guards. I have an idea.
Distract the guards? Right.
Alright, so the challenge rules don't apply for this part as well. One of these guards spawns from here. The game makes you think you can't kill them, but you actually can. It won't punish you for killing them.
Armed in turn with the daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. People their sacrilegious conspiracies. People fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracies. People fear no more. Tear the world from.
I'll bring you down a man. You can't shake me.
It is wisdom, above all, that our guilty enemies want to drive from the Republic. We must be generous for the good.
Oh, shit.
Compassionate
This way or that?
for the unfortunate. And inexorable.
You and the... Oh!
We must be compassionate toward the good. Generous.
Are you turning away from my friendly invention?
Be generous for the good. Compassion for the unfortunate, and an excellent for the...
Powdered agate. Causes hallucinations. This will make him look mad. Now we have to make him look dangerous.
The list of names.
It must fall into the right hands, anonymously. If our involvement gets out, it'll tip Germain off.
Leave that part to me.
Alright, so the challenge rules don't apply still for this mission.
He has returned to nothing. This monster, which the spirit of King has spewed forth over France. Let all the crimes and ills of the world disappear with him. The daggers of fanaticism and the poisons of atheism. Kings still conspire to assassinate humanity. If they can no longer disfigure the divinity with superstition in order to implicate him in their transgressions, they endeavor to banish him from the earth.
Taking the steel for ya!
People fear no more their sacrilegious conspiracies. They can no more tear the world from the breast of its author than the remorse from...
Stan, just hop on people, man. There are a lot of them. Bounce, bounce, bounce. That'd be funny if you could do that. In Dead Rising 1, there's actually a move you can unlock where you can actually just crawl over the tops of the heads of zombies when there's a lot of them in a crowd. Stan, Super Mario music plays. Ba-da-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum.
Robespierre natters on about freedom and mercy, while thousands go to the guillotine. If Don somewhere alive to see this, he would choke on his own grief.
Stan, zombie crowd surfing is a very metal music concert scene. That is true. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, so I do want to get to those games again soon.
Conduct unbecoming me. That should set things in motion.
I do listen to some of his stuff, Stan. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan that's heard everything of his, but I do like a few of his songs. So it was that and also a love of horror movies and stuff.
Above all, that our guilty enemies want to drive from the Republic. To wisdom alone does it belong to consolidate the prosperity of empires. It is for her.
Being a list of enemies of the revolution. 100 names here.
Robespierre's gone too far this time.
That's at the Fox in the Hen House.
Pity the hens. Now what?
We wait. It won't take long. Once Robespierre has lost the support of the people, he'll be no more use to Germain. And when Germain abandons him...
He's vulnerable. Let's go.
Yeah, Stan, one of my favourite songs of his is Return of the Phantom Stranger. Okay, so the game puts me on the ground after finishing that memory automatically. No, I knew he wouldn't touch the ground. I knew he would touch the ground, I mean. Oh yeah, Stan, Dragula, that's a good song too. Dragula, more human than human. I didn't mind that one. One of the first songs I heard, but when he was part of the band White Zombie, was used in the Escape from LA soundtrack. It was called The One, was the name of the song. That was my first experience listening to a Rob Zombie, well, to listen to him sing. But yeah, that was before he went off on his own. That was a good song, that one too. I think I would have been like, 13 when I first heard that song. Susan, I said I was probably 13 when I first heard that song. Oh, you're talking to the thief that stole off you. Oh, okay. Oops. I think in a past life that shopkeep lived in, I think Syria is where Assassin's Creed 1 takes place in. I think a ancestor of hers went around saying, "Please, sir, I need money." Raid Boston Manor is a pretty good band. Container is one of their better songs. Don't know if I've heard any of their stuff. Sometimes I do hear an artist's work, but I don't know that it was them. Stan, you do not understand. She's poor and sick and hungry. She's poor and sick and dying. Okay, it would seem that I'm at a point where there's no way to get out of this overall area without touching the ground. Raid, also I Want to Touch You by Catherine Wheel is pretty good. You're not sure if I've heard that either, to be honest. But then again, I mean, there's so many bands that exist. No, he wouldn't jump up. Of course he wouldn't jump up. Why wouldn't he jump up? He's done that before on other lampposts, but not that one in particular, it seems. Brad, you put it on the Discord, but you lost access to it for some reason. Yeah, I'm not too sure why. I'd have to look into it. Is your name on there the same as it is on Twitch, or do you have like a different one? So it's the same as it is on Twitch? Cool. Okay, right, so I can see that you joined. On the 9th of the 5th. Sorry it's taken so long for me to see the welcome. But when I go and click on your name, it won't let me have a look at what role I've assigned you. Because when people first join, they're in a role that doesn't allow them to like post stuff yet. So I have to put the person's role to something different so that they can start to post. But it's not giving me that option on yours though. But it says that you've been a Discord member since 2022. But that might also mean like overall. Rage, you're not on the server anymore. That's what you mean. Okay, where's the thing for... Because usually I can have a look and see who is actually active in the server, but I think they keep changing shit on Discord. Then again, I hardly use it. Except for posting when I'm things. Well, you're not coming up as blocked, so I don't know what's going on there. Because I can access your name and that, it would... Like, if I had blocked you, it would say, but I haven't. I can click on your info and see mutual servers and, you know, mutual friends and stuff. Like, I can't actually see what they are explicitly because it doesn't come up with them, but I can see that you joined, and when I click your name, it doesn't say you're banned or anything like that. And you're not blocked either, because it comes up with an option to block you. So if I had already blocked you, it wouldn't come up telling me that I could block you. But I don't have any reason to block you, so... But yeah, I could swear you could actually go to something to see who's actually active in the server at the moment. Here we go, members. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, because you're coming up in the channel when people first join the Discord. Yeah, I'll look into it after the stream and stuff and see what it's doing, but yeah. I don't know, I could swear on Discord you could see who was actually active in the server, whether they were, you know, like what their status was, if they were away or busy or something like that, but it's not coming up for some reason. Then again, I only use it on my phone, I don't use it on desktop. Maybe they've changed something. Welcome back, Babs. I hope you enjoyed your breakfast.
revolutionaries. Don't ask you again. You tell me the right.
Ces convolutions, votre grâce n'a d'égal que la lumière de votre regard. Comment pas? Mais enfin.
No, of course he'd land on the ground. Oh my god, Arno, what the fuck? No, Arno, I wanted you to jump on the fucking lamppost.
Why would anyone carry on like that?
Casper Rod will be having nightmares every time he crosses bridges from now on. Yeah, that's been one of the annoying things about this challenge when outside of memories is traversing across bridges. I mean, I can tell you one thing though, this has definitely lived up to being a challenge. That's for sure. I mean, inevitably, like, there's going to be people who do this same challenge and will probably get through with less retries, but it's one of those things too where there's so many little small details that just observing it doesn't give you the full picture. It's only once you actually try it for yourself that you start to see the small ways in which a challenge that on the face of it might seem pretty simple to stay off the ground. But when you get into the nitty gritty of having to get to a certain spot and all you've got to jump to are things that are off the ground only a very short distance, becomes really, really difficult. It's good there's a store, dude, near here. Okay, so I can touch the ground to get in here to see the dude for the store. Consumables. I can refill all the smoke bombs. They're the cheapest to refill. Same with all the ammunition. But medicine is where it gets more expensive. Same with the Phantom Blade and the Berserk Blade. Just in case I need the Phantom Blade, I'll get that. And I can get at least one medicine. Alright, so I can stay on the ground. There we go. And now to the mission start. No, Arno, don't jump into the haystack. Drop down.
Quelque chose les agite, mais quoi?
Got your message. What's going on?
We may have gone too far in discrediting Robespierre.
What's happened?
He's been arrested.
What?
Apparently, he made vague threats about a purge against enemies of the state, and the committee turned on him. They're taking him to Luxembourg prison. He's scheduled for execution in the morning.
Let's get to him first.
Eyes for the guillotine, all
Death
right?
to the enemies of freedom!
What in the hell?
These men were National Guard. Robespierre's escort.
Elise,
These men were National Guard.
what happened here?
Robespierre's escort.
We were ambushed.
Damn it, we've lost him.
Troops from the Paris Commune attacked us en route. They were trying to free the prisoners.
Did they take Robespierre?
I'm not sure. The fighting left me behind. They fell back. That way.
Merci. Go find yourself a doctor.
Oh.
If he's still in custody, they'll have taken him to Luxembourg prison.
But if not, they'll need to hole up somewhere nearby. They won't get very far with half the city turned out against Robespierre.
I'll check the prison. You follow the riot, see if you can pick up a trail.
Right.
Le texte n'est même pas centré. Et qu'est-ce donc que ces majuscules?
Let's not
All right.
panic just yet. We might be able to find some sign of what happened.
So let's see if I can do the rest of this without touching the ground. That little part there was okay because we had to follow Elise, but be right back. Just want to pour myself a drink. Alrighty then.
Why so bashful? Get back here! I'll cave your skull in, I will! Citizen, hold a moment! Halt! Yes, you, citizen!
Where is Robespierre?
They took him that way.
Faisons de la chair à pâté! Run, sir! We'll hold this lot until reinforcements arrive. You are a hero.
Thank God you made it, sir. The commune stands with you.
Thank you, Sergeant. Your loyalty does you credit.
Best get inside, sir. The convention soldiers will be here soon.
Yes, of course. I place myself in your capable hands.
Be it known that the Paris Commune, by dint of its actions protecting the criminal Robespierre, is now in open rebellion against the nation.
Alright, so that part is done. Now to assassinate him, even though he doesn't die.
That citizen Robespierre, citizen Henriot, and all of their allies are
At least he doesn't die at the hands of Arno. And he doesn't die straight away.
upon the guillotine. Revolutionary justice shall prevail.
This is the army of Plinters. It is capable of pumping out an arsenal of lethal weapons. Thanks for redeeming that, Reed. That sounds familiar. What is that actually from? Like, I know what lethal weapon is in terms of that, but I mean, that specific quote sounds familiar. Oh, Watch Dogs 2. Now I just remembered. Watch Dogs 2. That's when Wrench does an impersonation of Arnie. Now I remembered. That's right, yeah, when he tells him about the 3D printer.
Moderate die! Bastard! Get him back of him! Top block we can't see!
Hoo-hoo.
5 more were missing at last muster. At this rate, the convention won't have to fire a shot.
Damn him! I sent for Zema hours ago. Zema warned me about you. You're one of them, aren't you? An assassin.
Not anymore. Where's Germain? Elise.
We don't have much time. Where is Germain?
I will never talk.
Then right. The temple. I should have known. I hope you endure revolutionary justice, monsieur.
Seize him!
What did one shepherd say to the other shepherd? Let's get the flock out of here.
Good one, Casper. I like that pun. Let's get the flock out of here. Oh yeah, Raid. I only just noticed that when I saw your comment, and then I looked back up at the screen, and then I finally saw Robespierre, a clone of him, just standing there. Is it Casper? Well, there we go. Haven't seen that movie since I was a kid. Well, maybe not when I was a kid. Probably back in 2000, maybe. then right. Anyway. Alright, so the main game is almost finished. And then what I'll do is I'll end the stream. And then I'll come back with the Dead Kings DLC afterwards. Raid, your dad used to say, what did one hockey player say to the other? Let's get the puck out of here. Canadians, I know. That's a good one too, as well. I like that.
Someone stop him! He stole from us! Did you see where he went? Get him!
We should split up.
I'm not sure that's...
Less chance we both get caught that way.
I suppose that's true.
We'll rendezvous inside. If you get a shot at Germain, you take it.
Guys, but poor Susan, begging for money in the 1090s, only gets stolen from her in 1790s. Imagine how much money she must have earned in 700 years. Yeah. For those wondering why we're calling that woman Susan, Susan Glover is someone who's done a lot of voice work in the Assassin's Creed series.
Germain's built himself quite a fortress. I can't see any weak spots.
In AC1, she played Citizens, Beggar, Acra Civilian. Revelation, she played the Palpa, Recruit, Civilian, Abstergo Secretary in Lost Archive DLC. AC3, she was a London Opera House attendee. Unity, she was Marie Lenormand, who is the psychic that you can do some para stories with. Charlotte Corday, Madame Tussaud's assistant. In Rogue, she was Onota, and in Syndicate, she was a socialite / nurse as well. Raid, how on earth does Elise get in? That's a good question. Yeah, I'm not sure what route she takes to get in.
Citizen, hold a moment! Hey! Stay there, citizen! Halt! There's you, citizen! Aha! Oh, dead!
Damn it! Who's killed you then?
Get up. Get over here! I'll gut you along with it.
It seemed like the Grand Master spends a lot of time in the catacombs to you.
You haven't heard? He thinks he's Jacques de Molay reborn or some such.
You're joking.
Not even a little. He's probably down there trying to commune with his past life or something equally ridiculous. Mad as a hatter.
I don't think de Molay is even buried down there.
Like I said, mad as a hatter.
Found ya!
That's odd. What was that?
No. Gilbert. Shit!
Son of a... Bloody hell. Mark...
What the hell was that?
So the prodigal assassin returns. I suspected as much when Latouche stopped sending his tax revenues. Do you think yourself safe in your shadows? You've become quite the thorn in my side. I assume Robespierre was your doing as well. No matter. His reign of terror served its purpose. The direct...
How? What?
You can't just bloody do. Got it. There's no way out. Wait there.
Got it.
There's
someone there.
You're going nowhere. Stay there, you. Face death like a man. Citizen, stop. Hey. Son of a. That's not good. Hey, thought you were running home to mummy. You're a joke.
Just stop, you! Right there!
Think you can lose me?
Alright, I've got to touch the ground to go into where we need to go.
Right here. You won't escape me.
You can't outrun me! Hold it.
Right, apparently the phrase mad as a hatter alludes to exposure to chemicals used in making felt hats, which can cause tremors and other such symptoms. Damn, I didn't know that at all, Raid. That's interesting that is where that idea comes from. Like the phrase, mad as a hatter. Huh.
What happened here?
Germain's got some kind of weapon. I've never seen its like before. He got away from me.
He didn't come past me. He must still be down there.
Elise!
Mademoiselle de la Serre as well. This is quite the reunion.
Stay hidden. Keep him talking.
Did you think this day would never come? That because François de la Serre had no sons to avenge him, that your crime would go unanswered?
Revenge, is it? Aye. Revenge, is it? Your vision is as narrow as your father's.
You're one to talk. How wide a vision does your grab for power?
Power? Don't be absurd. This was never about power. Hello, assassin. This was never about power. It's always been about control. Did your father teach you nothing? Our order has become corrupt. So obsessed with clinging to the trappings of power, we abandoned our purpose. Caught in the very... Caught in the very lie we crafted to shepherd the... Caught in the very lie we crafted to shepherd the masses.
I'll kill you!
Have you heard nothing I've said? My design is larger than my own life. The darkness cannot protect you.
Arno!
I'm stuck!
He's getting away.
Wait, I'm almost free.
I can take him.
No, you can't. Not alone. Wait for me.
I'm sorry.
Elise! 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 Elise!
Bravo. You've slain the villain. That is how you cast this little morality play in your mind, isn't it? Oh, I'm not really here. I'm not really there either. At the moment, I'm bleeding out in the floor of the temple. But it seems the Father of Understanding has seen fit to give us this time to talk. Ah. A particular favorite of mine. I did not understand the visions that haunted my mind, you see. These great towers of gold, cities, shining white as silver. I thought I was going mad. Then I found this place. Dr. Malay's vault. Through his writings, I understood.
Understood what?
That somehow, through the centuries, I was connected to Grandmaster de Malay. And I'd been chosen to purge the order of decadence and corruption that had set in like rot. And to wash the world clean. And restore to the truth the Father of Understanding intended.
That seems to have gone over well.
Prophets are seldom appreciated in their own time. Exiled in the basement forced me to reevaluate my strategy. Find new avenues for the realization of my purpose.
No matter the cost.
A new order never comes without destruction of the old. And if men are made to fear untrammeled liberty, so much the better. A brief taste of chaos will remind them why they crave obedience. It appears we part ways here. Think on this. The march of progress is slow, but it is inevitable as a glacier. All you've accomplished is to delay the inevitable. One death cannot stop the tide. Perhaps it'll not be my hand that shepherds mankind back to its proper place. But it will be someone's. Think on this when you remember her.
Yeah, Raid. Jermaine assassinating himself? That is true. It's cool how if you have the disguise skill, you can actually turn into him. Casper revenge, is it? Or is it? That is the question. Raid, rest in peace at least. You never liked her anyway. That's fair enough. Yeah, she's gone. Casper, not a single bug in the entire fight. Bug, is it? Yeah. Raid, is Arno chewing something or chewing gum or something? So when I turned into Germaine with the disguise skill, I think that initiated that bug where Arno's character model just keeps on mouthing something. I think he's actually, when you disguise yourself as Germaine, when Germaine is talking, it must have caused a glitch where Arno's character model is also saying the dialogue or doing the mouth movements for it. And so when he switches back to Arno, instead of it stopping the mouth movements for Germaine, it must have just kept it and then locked it into a bug. But yeah, I've never seen that before. Like, I've seen some moments in the game where Arno's mouth will be moving when he's not actually saying anything. But that's the first time I've actually seen it happen at the end of the game and be so substantial that it happens in the cutscenes and stuff. Hey there, Hipsuit. Welcome on in. How's it going? Raid Arno's one hell of a ventriloquist. Exactly. in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, when you first see Leonardo and he's hiding, well, he's not actually literally hiding in the cardboard box, but you think he is. If you actually wait and you look at Ezio's mouth, when Leonardo is like, Ezio, here, over here, or psst, they actually assigned his dialogue to Ezio's character model, because Leonardo's character model isn't anywhere to be seen. So you can see Ezio mouthing Leonardo's dialogue. Hipsuit, it's hot, but surviving. Well, that is good that you're still surviving despite the heat. I definitely know what that's like when it's really, really hot and you have to push through stuff.
The creed of the Assassin Brotherhood teaches us that nothing is forbidden to us. Once, I thought that meant we were free to do as we would, to pursue our ideals no matter the cost. I understand now. Not a grant of permission, the creed is a warning. Ideals too easily give way to dogma. Dogma becomes fanaticism. No higher power sits in judgment of us. No supreme being watches to punish us for our sins. In the end, only we ourselves can guard against our obsessions. Only we can decide whether the road we walk carries too high a toll. We believe ourselves redeemers, avengers, saviors. We make war on those who oppose us, and they in turn make war on us. We dream of leaving our stamp upon the world. Even as we give our lives in a conflict that will be recorded in no history book. All that we do, all that we are, begins and ends with ourselves.
It's nothing like we get over there, though. For you, 25 Celsius is hot. That is definitely hot enough. Right, in the first Half-Life, whenever the characters press buttons, their mouths move and the buttons beat. Nice. That looks so funny. Thank you for the GG, Schiller. Thank you so much. Hipsuit, some scripting shortcuts have been made for that to happen. That's true, exactly. You know, these little things that they need to do with programming to actually make things happen.
My god, I don't believe what I'm seeing. Arno won this fight 2 centuries before it started. Well done, kid. I don't think Abstergo will bother searching the catacombs for Germain's body. The bones are gonna be too damaged, too decayed. We're in the clear at this stage. You did good work, Initiate. Until we contact you again, the best you can do is continue searching Arno's memories for anything else he might have seen, like rare historical data, more DNA samples, anything to help our cause. We'll be in touch when we need you. Count on it.
Holy shit, Steven Spielberg's son, Max. I saw the name Max Spielberg there and I was like, cool. But yeah, confirmed. He's a graphic designer on Battlefield 1, this game, and Jurassic Park Trespasser. Producer on Bandit, the movie, and that stuff. Cool. Hipsuit, and we're going to lurk for the rest of your lunch break. There's no trouble at all, Hipsuit. Thanks for stopping in for a bit. Thank you for leaving the lurk as well. Stan, oh no, you missed the revenge. Revenge, is it? Revenge. Yeah, Stan. There was also a funny glitch that happened with Arno's mouth movements. I made Arno with the disguise ability turn into Germaine when he was saying dialogue, and I think it glitched Arno's character model into mouthing the dialogue even after the dialogue had finished. Thanks for the GGs on completing the story. Well, Babs, I wish I could say it's done, but I'm also doing the challenge with this game's DLC as well. So we're almost at the end of the playthrough. Once that DLC is done, then the whole playthrough will be finished. But thanks for the GGs for finishing the main game, though. Stan, it was a tough one. Yeah, especially that memory where you have to chase the boat. That was the most difficult one so far in the entire playthrough. The one that cost me like 40 to 50 challenge fails. Right, as much as you don't like this game, the bit of Ezio's family in the main theme is pretty good. It really is. Yeah, I do like the rendition of that song in this game. Stan, DLC, is it? Nothing is true, everything is lava. That is so true. So the game has put Arno on the ground here. But that's okay, because when I actually come back, because I'm going to end this stream and then come back to start Dead Kings. And when I do that, Arno will probably still be here, but I can fast travel into the DLC anyway. But this is where I'm going to end the main game content, but this is not the end of the stream day though. So I'm going to go and take a short break and come back within the next 10 to 15 minutes to begin the Dead Kings DLC. I just want to thank everyone so much for watching this stream, and I'll be back to start the DLC soon.
C'est fabuleux. À la vôtre.